Hey, did you see that? Season 7, episode 15 of the Haves and the Have-Nots. Yeah, it was okay. I mean, I'm not feeling there's still too many unanswered questions. I don't know about you, but we still don't know a lot of things, and I guess we're gonna have to wait for episode 16 to find out what is going on. So, it starts off with Wyatt. How it ended. He stumbles his high behind into the iron bone, and he's hiding a kite. He don't even know where he is. He walks over to Uncle Vinny and Sandy, trying to sell them their jewelry for heroin. And they're like, do you know where you are? And he's like, nah, I'm looking for Wyatt. And he's like, dude, you are Wyatt. And he's like, you don't recognize me? He's showing him the mark where he did. And he's like, he has no clue. So they said they're going to take him down to the basement. I'm like, wow. And Sandy's like, what you going to do? What you going to do? He said, I'm going to get even. I was like, oh, Lord. But I'm still trying to figure out. They're looking for this car. Where's the car? Did Wyatt drive the car to the iron bone, or did that girl take the car? I'm still confused as to these things, and we have not gotten the answers in this episode. It's just ridiculous. So then it goes over to Jim, and Jim is trying to track the car because it's the next morning. He's trying to track this car and find it. He can't find it. The password's been changed, so now he can't track it. He calls Hannah, and he gonna be nasty with her. How you gonna be nasty on the phone with somebody? He just his same old arrogant self. And she called him his privileged ass or something. She said, I'm like, they got Hannah cursing and swearing a lot on this season. And he's rude to her. And she, Hannah, in her way, she put him in check. She's like, don't let the Christianity fool you. She put him in check big time, hung up on him about 3 times at least, and then refused to answer his call. And, he was like, it's a matter of life and death. And he wouldn't tell her what it was. He said, I don't have to. She said, okay, click. Then he called back and said, this is the last time I'm going to call with this. She said, good, click. She hung up on him 3 times. I was like, you better go ahead, Hannah. Hannah is not playing this episode. She's like, I might be religious and stuff and a Christian, but I ain't taking no mess from these men no more. So he hangs up. She keeps calling. He keeps calling. She don't answer. He calls David. And David, as soon as he saw Jim's number, got annoyed. And he's like, you could see he's like, and I'm like, David, you still put up with it? And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry to keep calling you all the time and stuff. He said, oh, well, I have called you in the past. He always started being nice to him. I don't get that. So he asks him, Jim asks David to go see Hannah, go to her house and try to get the password and all that stuff. But when he gets there, he missed her, so he caught up with her at the Crier's house. I was like, oh my gosh. So then it goes over to, at the Crier's house, they start talking. And he's talking to Hannah at the Crier's house, And he's asking her questions and about the car, and she don't want to be dealing with him because she knows who he is. He's just basically one of Jim's little boys' puppets, And she's like, what do you want, man? She kept calling him man. Man, what do you want, man? I was like, oh, Hannah got attitude. And he's like, this isn't very Christian-like. And she's like, what? She's like, please. She said it ain't Christian-like to pray God to kill him or something, like to let him die. She said, but you want me to do that instead? And he was like, wow, why are you so hostile? She's like, you really gonna ask me that? You gonna ask me that? This man, when we first started this thing, he tried to get her son arrested. He the one responsible for getting him arrested. Been arrested. Anyway, she was like, you wanna know why? you trifling ass man. She told him he a trifling ass man, and he just like Jim Cryer, and she ain't got nothing to say to him. I was like, wow. And then he's like, what about your son? And I'm like, see, why you got to go there with people's kids and their family and stuff? Your son, and he over there with Veronica and that stuff. She was like, so what you want me to do? Get him off of your wife? He's like, he said, my ex-wife. She said, whatever. He said, he got money at gyms, and see, they ain't none of his business. And then he goes, oh, Candace got money at gyms too. She's like, they grown, and that ain't none of my business. I ain't got nothing to do with that. And I was like, woo. And she was like, don't come over here threatening me for that bastard. I said, oh. She called Jim a bastard. I'm telling y'all, they got Hannah swearing like a sailor up in these episodes. I'm telling you, she's like, Benny's grown, Candace is grown, got nothing to do with that. You know, he's begging her to go in there because he explains what Jim wouldn't about the car and the tracker and everything. They're trying to track it. You know that, and that's when she learns that it was Wyatt who broke in there and stole stuff. So that's why I think she lets him in, because they all know he got a drug problem. So she separated the accounts. The accounts are now separated. She don't have to deal with them and her car. And the whole thing happened because all of their cars were on the same tracking device. I don't know how you do that. But the BMW that belonged to the daughter that Hannah was driving, that was the issue. So Hannah had changed the password, and Jim couldn't get in, and yada, yada, yada. Anyway, we go to Catherine still. Catherine still has not found out what happened to Wyatt. Wyatt done been he cut his wrist. See this? Now they done introduce a new person, a new black security guard. They gotta get a black person in there. He happened to have gone to school, college with her daughter, the one that killed herself, right? And she asks him some questions, you know. I guess it's going to have something to do with something in the end, because how did she remember that this boy was supposed to go away to college and was supposed to do this? And he said it was something about scholarships. That's why he didn't go, because he was supposed to get a scholarship or stay in or whatever. Anyway, he says he would try to find out information for her about her son, because he didn't know about it. He just started. So he ain't trying to lose his job, but he'll do the best he can. But you know, Catherine still being stubborn, don't want to eat the food and stuff. And then the prisoner next to her is messing with her and teasing her, saying, they going to kill your son. You got to watch out for those Malones. They going to kill him. If you better get that money up, girl. You better get that money. Oh, Lord. And Catherine was so through with her. Totally through with this girl. And the girl was like, I have a friend, and they didn't give the money, and they killed the whole family and all that. I said, oh, Lord. And Catherine was like, shut up. So the girl said, you know, and she said, Hannah threatened her. That's what was happening. Catherine was threatening her. And she said, you doing all these threats and ain't got no power behind it. I said, ooh. I was like, that was a good one. And she said, oh, you just wait till I get out of here. You'll see. All of y'all will see up in here. Y'all all gonna see what kind of power I have. I was like, okay, do your thing, do your thing. Okay. So now we back at David's house, and that chick showed up. That chick showed up at David's house again, but she was only coming to get her wallet. I mean, her cell phone she left there, and her purse. And he's not like, I don't have your stuff. And she's like, yeah, I left it on the table. They get her stuff, and she's still telling him how much Erica loved him. And she got letters that Erica wrote about him and da-da-da-da. And he's like, no, I'm not interested. Y'all both are whores. Get off my property. So he said, you trying to play me and run some game and stuff. She's like, I don't know your wife. But, you know, David's scared now. He don't know who to trust. So you can understand that. I get it. But she apologized. The girl actually apologized and said, I'm sorry. You know, I thought you would want to know about, you know, Erica. And he said he didn't. Then they showed Jeffrey waking up in Madison's bed, and you know, they did their little small talk. Madison goes to work, and next thing you hear somebody knocking on the door, and he's like, oh snaps, did you forget something? Now, duh, if he forgot something, don't you think he has his key? Unless it's his key that he forgot? And there's no peek hole on the door. There's no way to look out. I thought all doors have peek holes. Don't all doors have peek holes? There was no peek hole, and he just opened the door, and who's standing there? You guessed it, Justin. Justin's standing there. And he's like, what do you want? Dude, was you out in the hole all night? And he's like, he's like, I want you to make love to me. What? He's like, I gave up everything for you. Jeffrey said, you didn't give up nothing for me. You gave up nothing for me. This wasn't about me. It's about you. You're the one who did what you did to me in the back seat of that police car. I was like, oh, Jeffrey getting tough with his robe on. And then he closed the door on him, and Justin turns around, and who the freak is standing there? Who the freak is standing there? His brother. He's like, how do you know I was here? He said, you were here all night. He found him. He said, you're disgusting. He said, I didn't do it. He's doing it to me. He blamed it on Jeffrey. He's doing it to me. His brother's like, no, he didn't. You're disgusting. I heard everything. And he punched him in the stomach and said, get your ass downstairs. I said, whoa. Oh, my goodness. Then what else? They show Candace and Benny. This part was so silly. Because all of a sudden, Benny's so concerned about how much a hotel costs. He done been seeing Candace up in the hotel all them times. In that expensive house. She's always staying at the hotel. How you think she paying for it? I can't believe that any of those hotels are more expensive than the hotel she's been staying in. But all of a sudden, he's so frugal with money. We got to save it. She got like, what? How many millions of dollars she have? He got one. And she had, what, the other 4 or 5 million? It's ridiculous. So he's complaining about it. He wants her to stay at a hotel in the hood. And she's like, nah, I want to be comfortable. I want to take a shower. I want to be comfortable. So then he's asking the lady at the desk, how much is it? If Candace is paying for it, why are you asking how much it costs? It's none of your business. Don't worry about it. She's like, 2 rooms. He's like, 1 room, 2 beds. All of a sudden, he being bossy and stuff like in the last couple of episodes. So then she goes, he asks, like, what comes with it? $300? What a night? What comes with it? You know, he says something. Does it come with a body? Something, you know. And they laugh. I don't know. They don't show the lady laugh, but it sounded like I heard her laughing as well. And then he said, well, do anything come with it? Does breakfast come with it? She said, yes. Breakfast is complimentary. He goes, is that free? I was like, damn, he dumb. How you don't know? Candace had to say, yes, Benny. That means free. Let's go. And they go upstairs, and it's nice up there. He likes it. You know, it's the 2 beds. But he's still talking about wanting to leave. And then the next thing he said, nah, I could get used to this. You know, and he's talking about, you know, buying a house and wanting her to stay there for a while and help him look for the house, you know, and so nobody cheat me. And she said, boy, ain't nobody gonna cheat you. You so frugal. Look how you are with your money right now. You're very frugal. I said, they probably will cheat him because he doesn't know a lot. He's not as street smart as Candace is. That's the way I see it, you know. He think he tough. He think he a man, you know, but, you know, anyway, so they end up chilling in there, and he's talking about order a bottle of wine and blah, 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 or whatever it was. So, and that was that part. What else happened? Candace and Benny, he wants her to stay longer, blah, blah, blah. He's worried about something. Oh, he is worried about something happening to her. That was his concern. You know, little brother worrying about his big sister. That's so cute. Then there was, what was the last thing? Because it was in, they show this part with the that President-elect Charles and his attorney general. I'm gonna call it AG, his attorney general that he's appointed when he gets into office, and they talk about that. They're talking, and he's drinking, and Charles President-elect reminds him that there's rumors around about his drinking. And he's like, I don't drink like that. I don't drink that much. He said, or this early in the day, is early in the day you're drinking. He's like, no, it's not that bad or something like that. So he lets him know he went to see the present AG, and the present AG was such arrogance. And he's like, I'm sure he said the same thing about you, But I'm trying to figure out something with this guy. I'm not feeling it. Maybe y'all let me know down in the comment section. Something is up with this guy. I'm wondering, is this AG supposed to be that other guy's father? I don't know. He said the other guy that was working for him was saying something about his father. No, it can't be him. I don't know. It's just there's something off with this guy. Because if he gonna be his attorney general and he got a drinking problem, he needs to rethink who he's picking. You don't want nobody that's with a drinking problem, an alcoholic and stuff, taking care of business. Yeah, So I think President-elect Charles needs to check that out. And he mentioned he mentioned getting even. He wanted to bury the present administration. That's what the AG said. And Charles is like, nah, I'm not interested in that. We won. There's no reason to be that way. Let's just let it go. And he's like, you're the oldest. You're oldest out of all. You need to act like your age. Act like an adult. Let's not be fighting for stuff we don't have to. He said when the time is right and for good reason, he's willing to fight. And because he kept saying there's nothing wrong with a little revenge. And Charles is like, yeah, when the time is right. It's not now. Let's wait till we get into office. So then all of a sudden the attorney general said he thinks that Charles should call Candace. I said, here we go. There is something going on. I'm like, why should he be calling Candace now? That doesn't make sense. He's the one that said he should stay away from him. Now, and Charles is saying, no. And you stay out of it. Keep out of it. See, that was a clue right there. Watch the next couple of episodes. He gonna be all in it, his business with Candace. I guarantee it. Even though he told him to stay out of it. And then what's the other thing? Oh, so David goes in the house with Hannah, and he tells the story about his mom and how she worked so hard at she's a janitor. And how he was so embarrassed of her because she was a janitor when he was younger. And she had this one white friend. I don't know why he said that, And, he said his mother died on the bus going to work. She said, so what are you telling me that for? You threatening me and stuff? And he's like, no, I'm not threatening you. I'm trying to compliment you. He's like, my mother worked hard and you worked so hard and to set standards for your children and stuff. And then he said, even though you don't have your morals or you don't have that much morals or something, he said something about her morals. Like he insulted her, like she don't have that much morals. I said, what? And she's looking at him with her eyes, rolling her eyes and everything. I'd have slapped him out of here. And he said, but he admired her. And she said, and you know how Hannah get all sarcastic. She said, I guess I will sleep better knowing this, that you admire me. And he was like, I guess you will, or something like that. And he walked away. And she said, David. She called him over. She called him back. And she said, you think your mother's proud of you? I said, ooh. I was like, she basically was saying, fool, your mama ain't proud of you the way you acted, the way you behave and the stuff you do. I was like, wow, that was deep. Then what else? Oh, Veronica. Veronica sees Laurel. She wakes her up early in the morning to come to her house. And the girl is like, I don't get up for an hour. She said, well, you're kind of late. You need to get up now or something like that. And she's telling her all the stuff to do. The girl gets to the house, cleans it up, has her husband come and cleans the pool. Veronica sees her husband and is like meat. She see him like a hunk of meat. And she's telling Laurel she's doing a real good job. And then she asks her to go upstairs and do the bathroom, clean the bathroom. Laurel said, do you want to meet my husband? She said, no, I don't want to meet him. She sends the girl upstairs to clean her bathroom because she just took a shower. And then she goes over there, knocks on the glass, and makes sure she get the pool guy, which is what her husband was doing, cleaning the pool, to come inside. And he said he's really a pool contractor. And he thanked her for getting his wife the job. And she was like, well, why was things so rough? Why did you need it? And he tells the story how his son got shot during some robbery or something like that. And she's like, oh, I feel so bad. And she just can't help but touch him. She's all over him. She's touching him and she's trying to get close, and he pushed her away. And you know, Laura had already told him earlier, don't be flirting and stuff. So he said, nah, I ain't gonna flirt. I'm not gonna do that. I'm cool. And I was like, wow, she's a trip. You know, that Veronica. So then she sends the Laurel upstairs right to the bathroom. After he pushes her away, she goes upstairs and tells Laurel she needs her to go out of the house. Because see, now Veronica got a plan going in her head, because she already was trying to get the guy saying, oh, I got to pay you in some kind of way for, you know, what you're doing for cleaning the house, the pool for me. He's like, no, it's no charge. She said, no, I have to pay you. I'll figure out some way to pay you. Ooh, she nasty hoe. Veronica nasty hoe. I don't care what nobody say. She is. She a bad nasty hoe, but she is. She like that young meat. I tell you, I guess she got a hunger, a thirst. She got thirst. She got a thirsty appetite for sex. And so she sends the girl, she goes upstairs with the girl. She takes her in the bathroom, said, I want you to wear these clothes and I want you to go to the store. She said, I see you more than just my housekeeper now. You're more like a personal shopper, personal assistant or something like that. So she told the girl, she needs her to do some stuff for her, and she needs her to run a few errands, because you know Veronica got a plan. Veronica's going to send that girl out, and she's going to try to flirt and hit on her man, her husband. She don't have no morals whatsoever. She see what she want, and she going to go after it. And that's the only reason she's sending Laurel out right now. And then the last thing that happened was Uncle Vinny and them are down in the basement with Uncle Vinny, Sandy, and Wyatt. And Uncle Vinny throws water on him and wakes him up. And Wyatt's all high and like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I said, even in his highness, he's still arrogant. He's like, what are you doing? You know, let me go and stuff. And he's like, nah. And he's telling Sandy to shoot him. And he's like, yo, wait, my father paid you off. My father paid you to leave me alone, so I should be able to just walk out. He's like, nah, you don't get even here. You know, and so Sandy's all scared and he can't do it. And he's pointing a gun and stuff. And his hands are shaking. And he's like, I can't do it. And Uncle Vinny's pissed. He's like, you want to be part of the family? You want to be this? This is what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to learn how to do this. This happens all the time, you know. And Sandy wouldn't do it. So Uncle Vinny took the gun and shot Wyatt himself. I was like, wow. And it ended with Sandy like this. Sandy was so shocked, you know. But, you know, there's so many unanswered questions still. What's going to happen with Justin and his brother? Does his brother beat him to a pulp? What's going to happen with this new guy that they introduced into it? This police officer or whatever, who's happened to go to school with Amanda College and knows Mrs. Cryer. What's going to happen with did he really shoot Wyatt? Did he really shoot Wyatt? And what about the car? We don't know where the car was. Does the girl have it? Is it there? I know next week they're showing that David is in the Iron Bone asking about the car. And, you know, it's a lot of unanswered questions. And I guess that's how he does it. That's how he keeps us coming back, right? And also forgive me for this light. It's nighttime and I had to put on this light. And I keep looking down because as you see, the light shines in my glasses. So if you see that I kept going like this, that's because I was trying to avoid all the light glare. I look like a space person. Anyway, this your girl, Barbie J. Comment below. Share, like, thumbs up. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed. Hey, did you see that? There you go. It's your girl Barbie J. Peace.